Hi Santa Barbara and Montecito. My name is Daniel Zia. I'm the founder, CEO, and broker associate for Zia Group here with eXp Realty on the Central Coast. And I'm here as part of our company's commitment to always be your local real estate economist of choice. And I'm here to deliver to you the July real estate market update, focusing on South Santa Barbara County. We're going to go over condos, single family homes, and also the luxury market of Hope Ranch and Montecito. So tune in. For those of you that have not visited our website to find these real estate market reports, and maybe you're seeing them on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, you can always go to ziagroup.com into the Learn tab and scroll down here to housing reports, and then you'll have a month-by-month housing report that we put out that goes over the real estate market update. So I'm going to go over those statistics that are on our website and provide some really helpful context as far as what we're seeing on the ground right now. What's the pulse and feel of the market that sometimes isn't reflected in the market stats? And then do just keep in mind that each of our monthly real estate market updates, we're going over the real estate statistics that just came out. They usually come out early to mid-month for the previous month. So this is the July real estate market update, but these are really reflective of what happened in June. And I'm going to update you on what July is doing and how it feels, but these are the statistics for June for our July real estate market update. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. As a broad overview, the market is still extremely active. We have been in, you might have heard this term in different media outlets, we have been in the strongest real estate market of all times here in Santa Barbara and Montecito, as well as almost every city and town in the nation. One of the most key things that you can look at for judging the strength of the market is the absorption rate, also known as the months of inventory. That is if no new homes came on the market to sell. At the pace at which homes are selling, how many weeks or months would it take for you to run out of all inventory? So one of the things that I'm just going to start with here is when you're looking specifically, this is for single family homes, we have 1.24 months of inventory right now for single family homes in South Santa Barbara County. Now, this is extremely low. A healthy balanced market might be around 4 months. A transitioning market into a declining market where prices might drop might be 6 months in our area, 7, 8, 9. We've seen as high as 8 or 9 months of inventory back in the last market decline. So 1.24 months of inventory, we are at almost a historical low 4 months of inventory. It's just a touch higher than it's been in the last couple of months, but again, it's very incremental, and I am going to share in a little bit just kind of what we're seeing here on the ground. New listings, we've had 10% more single-family home listings come on the market, and when you look at July, well, it's really June over June, right? June of this year compared to June of last year, we did see an 18% increase in the number of single-family homes. The total number of homes for sale in June, depending on when you pulled the data, was 284 homes, which is 43% fewer homes for sale compared to last June. Now, one of the things, I mean, all of these are just numbers. I like to provide the context and analysis. One of the things to keep in mind is we were coming out of the real freeze of COVID last year when no one knew how the market was going to respond, and so we did have a backlog of inventory for a little bit before the market really took off, and it did take off in last June. So, but we do have even fewer homes to sell actively available for now. The average sales price right here is just under $2.5 million. That is a 19% increase over the average sales price last year at the same time in that month of sales. Now, here's what's interesting. Let me just pause and let me show you, you might track multiple agents in town and what statistics they're doing, or you might see different news outlets and you might see conflicting data. Let me just really quickly give you an overview of all of the information that I look at every month, and then in some cases every week, to be able to come up with some of these trends and make it digestible for you. So you have provided by, this is by Fidelity National Title. They put out what's called the court information. This includes everything that sells in the MLS and the properties that sell off market, and you get some different summary pages and they break it down to area. In addition to that, we do our proprietary, as a Zia Group, real estate statistical analysis. I mean, this goes down to by area, and then also even week by week summaries of what's comparisons of what the new listings are doing, what properties have closed, how are the escrow rates, cancellation rates changing. So when I do my week-by-week market update reports, like on Facebook, which you can see there, that is all from this data as well, and no other really outlet is tracking it week by week, but that's how we want to be, and on your benefit, we want to be first in seeing any trends, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then here are the monthly stats. So this is actually what we pull and we port into this nice user-friendly, kind of aesthetically pleasing version. And then there's even, this is put out by the MLS to us agents, and this has some nice graphs and charts and things. But this goes over everything that happens in the MLS, but not what happens outside of the MLS. So got a lot of information and data that we look at, and then I try to digest it down into this more aesthetically pleasing version. So just a frame of reference there, but here's a good example of that, right? So you might look at this and say, well, 19% increase, well, that's great in most years, but I've heard as much, I heard that prices have gone up a lot more than that, and in reality, they have. Now, selecting the specific amount the prices have gone up with it's a little bit more variable. It depends if you're looking at the average sales price or the median sales price. It depends if you're looking month over month, because that's a smaller sample size. In some months you have higher sales prices and lower sales prices. It just depends. Or if you're looking at year to date. So here, this is essentially the June stat over June of the previous year. You only saw a 19% increase, which any other year would be astronomically high. This year, it actually looks a little bit low when you compare it to the year to date average sales price bump is actually more like 66% versus 19%. So big difference there, and that's part of the reason why you want a local economist that you trust to really give you the full picture, and that's what we're here to do today. So as far as how quickly homes are selling, they are selling very, very quickly. The average days on market for a single family home right now is 18 days. That's less than 3 weeks. For our listings at the Zia Group, almost all of our listings, we just take about a 1 week to sell, and that's because we'll list them on either a Tuesday or a Wednesday. We'll have them on the market for full market penetration for a week, and then the corresponding Tuesday or Wednesday, depending which day they launched, we'll collect all offers. We did that last week for 2 listings, and we ended up having, I think 6 offers on one and 2 on the other. Both of them went hundreds of thousands of dollars above the asking price, and the sellers were thrilled. We've got another listing that we had, we had 2 open houses and a broker's caravan for that new listing. We had over 300 people come through those 3 events. So over about a 9-hour period of time, we had over 300 people come through, and I'm going to imagine have double-digit offers on that by the offer review date of Wednesday. It'll still early to tell, but we'll see. So that's the single-family home market. It is extremely active. Let's switch gears and talk about the condo market. So here is the condo stats. You have 67 new listings that came on, so just a touch fewer than the previous June. 45 sold listings, so we did see substantially more sales activity in June for condos compared to the previous month. And we also saw about 100 condos for sale as in the total active inventory, and that's a much fewer than the previous June. Your average sales price, if you were to buy a condo last month, would have been a little over $1 million, $1,045,000, which is a 22% increase. And again, that's June over June, since this is the July market update, versus year-to-date stats, which are a little bit different. So you can see here the days on market, how long it takes to sell a condo. It's very, very short. We're talking nearly a 60% decrease in the amount of time it's taken last month compared to the previous year, and an average of 2.5 weeks. So I know you might be drawing conclusions here. I don't want you to draw one incorrect conclusion. You might think, hey, the market is so hot, I can sell the home myself. Or, hey, the market is so hot, I can just have, my friend Susie sell it for me, even though she's a new agent. Here's the thing to keep in mind. Yes, the market is so hot that you might be able to sell it in either of those 2 scenarios, and you might be able to get a good buyer and close escrow, but I would actually say that the risk of how much money you might be leaving on the table by not hiring a top agent or team like Zia Group it's the most risky time in history to try to sell it yourself or to try to have a friend or family member sell it for you that is not experienced and doesn't do a top marketing program. This is the perfect time where you want someone to have an extensive marketing program and be grabbing buyers all across the country, because we have so many relocating buyers from the East Coast, New York City, the Bay Area, LA, and a lot of them, frankly, are not even reaching out to a local agent. They're literally just shopping online at 11 o'clock at night on their phone or their iPad. And if you don't have that extensive marketing plan and you just stuck a for sale sign in your yard, yes, you might get someone driving by, but you might get that one buyer versus, 300 buyers or something all clamoring to get your property and getting a multiple offer frenzy and the corresponding price and terms that come with that. So hope that's helpful. If you have more questions about that, please do reach out to me or your preferred Zia Group Realtor partner. We're happy to talk to you more about how we add value. And just recently we had in the last few months, we had a seller who was trying to sell for sale by owner and had a couple offers because it was a really nice property in a desirable area, and ended up hiring us, and we were able to get them hundreds of thousands of dollars more than they were able to get, in multiple of what they were paying us for our commissions and our marketing fee. They are just thrilled that they did not try to sell it for sale by owner. So here we go. Let's switch gears and talk about the luxury market of Montecito and Hope Ranch. You had 30 new listings come on the market, which is a 33% decrease compared to last year. So fewer homes came on the market last month. 25 sold listings, which is actually a little bit lower than last year, which is interesting, right? Up here, you had a 36% increase in condos, but a little softening or slowing, maybe just a blip on the screen in the luxury market there. 71 homes for sale, which is a 64% decrease. Not a lot of selection right now. The average sales price is still an astronomical $4.7 million for the month of when it ended in June, and that's 11% increase over last year. Now, again, this statistic is very different when you look year to date. I just think June was a little softer month. Now, just speaking of that, with some of the sales activity, one of the things that we do is we're looking for trends. So if you go to the weekly trend here, again, this is Zia Group is the only one that I know of that actually tracks it in this granular way. These are the pended homes. These are the homes in escrow. And you can see here, starting back in mid-May, for virtually every week from mid-May to the beginning of the year, you had more pended or sales activity than the year before. Starting mid-May, here is more the end of May, we actually had the first real week of lower sales activity than the week before, and then here we go, second week in a row, third week in a row, fourth week in a row, etc. So it's really interesting where we've actually had this little trend of lower sales activity week over week in the last handful of weeks. So whether that's just a temporary trend because, frankly, a lot of us have had delayed family vacations. We weren't traveling maybe last June, but this summer, we've maybe gone as long as we can bear without a family vacation, and now we're just taking the plunge. And so maybe some of those home buyers have just kind of taken a temporary pause while they're on vacation. I think that has a lot to do with that little blip that we've seen, but we're watching it closely to see if that's a sustained trend that goes maybe even through the summer. So back to luxury real estate, 27 days is the average time it's taking to sell a luxury home in Montecito and Hope Ranch. Considering that just a couple years ago, the average days on market was closer to 6 months or 6 times that length, that's just incredible, absolutely incredible. And then about a month and a half of inventory, so a little bit more than the rest of South Santa Barbara County, but still a month and a half is such a low inventory rate. It's shocking, and it should communicate that the market's going to stay strong here in the coming weeks and months. So there you have it. If you have any questions, again, please do reach out to me, Daniel Zia, or your preferred Zia Group Realtor partner. We do not know what the market's going to do in the coming weeks and months. We have some theories, and we're happy to back it up and put it in context for you and your family's specific situation and financial goals. And we do all that in a private, confidential consultation where we can actually go a little bit more in depth on some of these stats and put it in a local context for you and help you come up with a strategic plan. So I would say even if you are months months or even years away from maybe a purchase or sale, please do reach out. We're happy to put that strategic plan in place now. We actually prefer that so that you have more time to be able to put that plan into action. And when you are ready to buy or sell, you're more prepared and you can make a better decision and have a better chance of meeting your goals. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to hearing from you.